Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the House of Representatives. This is your state representative, Cary-Condotta. Well, what a difference a couple of weeks make. Let's go back and tell you what happened at the cutoff. A lot of bills did not come out of the House that were up on the calendar. One of the reasons was the gun bill, 1588, the background universal check bill, was debated for 2 days. And in the process of those 2 days of trying to get the votes, I guess it wasn't really a debate, it was just trying to get the votes on the floor, we lost a lot of time and a lot of bills went away. And maybe that's okay because we do a lot of legislation around here, maybe more than we need to do. On the Senate side, kind of the opposite. They put out more bills off the Senate floor than they've ever put out in a lot of years. And so we'll have quite a few bills coming our way here in the House. And that's what's happening right now is the switch. The bills have been transmitted from the Senate to the House. The House committees are now starting to hear those bills and vice versa. Now, because the House is controlled by the Democrats and the Republican coalition basically controls the Senate, there will be a lot of places where they may not hear each other's bills, so there might be a bit of stagnation in the next week or two. The real news in the last week is an indication of what's going to happen Friday, and Friday is the official revenue report. We've already got wind that it's not going to be so good. I had hoped it might be up a bit. We thought we were sensing some economic increase, some improvement in the economy, but when we got the report, it said, well, Seattle's seen some economy, some economic improvement, but the rest of the state's falling behind the nation, and that's very disappointing. And so with that and a few other things that are involved, we could see as much as $500 million below the current forecast. So we could have a report that comes in $500 million below. Now, you heard when we came into this situation and we were about $1 billion short of what they determined the budget should be. At least that's the folks that run the House. They felt they were at least $1 billion short, plus another $1 billion was needed for education. Now we throw in $500 million loss on the revenue side. It's going to get a little more complex. So now the negotiations begin, the budget writing and talking starts to happen, and this is going to get quite interesting because the timeline is growing short. It's amazing how fast this session's gone. We only have a limited number of weeks to put this budget together, and that official revenue report, which will be out later this week, is not going to help things at all. And so this is the concern we have now, is that everyone had kind of an idea of how they were going to approach this budget and how they were going to get through it. And everybody seemed to think that they had it pretty well figured out. Well, that is certainly not the case now with a revenue report that's down $500 million rather than up $250 million like we expected. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the bills swap from one side to the other, and we'll have more to report. One last little note before I go. The one bill I'm sorry did not pass, and I'm hoping we'll get to it next time, is the drone bill. Some protections from these unmanned aerial drones, which are now being used by police departments around the nation. And what they can do with these is very scary, and there needs to be immediate restrictions on their use before all of our privacy is gone. We'll keep working that bill for you and make sure it gets on the floor soon. We'll see you next week. There's lots to come. Stay tuned.